Lessons on not giving people a second chance. Have you ever thought of life as a journey full of choices? Sometimes the path is smooth and sunny. Other times, there are stones, obstacles that make us stop, rethink and question, should I keep going? Should I try a new path? What if I told you that these moments of doubt could be the best opportunities life gives us to grow? That instead of holding us back, each obstacle is an invitation to make a new choice, to aim for something greater. Today, I want to show you a different way to face these crossroads. Stoicism, an ancient and powerful philosophy, offers lessons in courage, wisdom, and self-respect. Lessons that can transform the way we deal with things or people that don't deserve our time and energy. So, if you've ever felt stuck in situations that drag you down, I invite you to join me on this journey. Let's explore how Stoicism can teach us to move forward with more ease, more happiness, and toward what truly matters. And it's precisely when we understand that every step, every decision shapes us, that an important question arises. What do we do with situations or people that prevent us from moving forward? Is it worth investing again where we've already stumbled? Or would it be wiser to move on, leaving behind what has already served its purpose in our journey? This is a choice that requires courage and self-awareness. It's not always easy, but sometimes the hardest path is also the most liberating. This is where the importance of not giving second chances comes in. Giving someone a second chance may seem like an act of generosity, but is it always the right choice? Stoicism teaches us that true wisdom lies in recognizing what is within our control and, more importantly, knowing when something no longer contributes to our growth. Refusing a second chance isn't an act of harshness, but of self-respect. It's understanding that often, insisting on something that has already brought us pain or frustration is like trying to plant a flower in barren soil. You can water it, nurture it, wait, but the flower won't bloom. By saying no to situations that have already proven unworthy of our effort, we're saying yes to ourselves, to our peace, our time, and our energy. It's not about being rigid, but about being mindful. Knowing that to grow, we must learn to let go of what keeps us stuck in the same place. Think for a moment about the times you found yourself reliving the same cycle, hoping for different results, but facing the same disappointments. What lesson is there in that? Sometimes, the greatest display of strength and wisdom is closing a door with confidence, knowing that much better ones await you just ahead. Stoicism reminds us that life is too short to waste on what doesn't add value. When we choose carefully where to invest our energy, we begin to live more lightly and with greater purpose. And now that we understand the power of saying no, let's take the next step, reflecting on the value of our most precious resources. Have you ever thought about how you spend your time and energy? These two assets can't be bought, traded, or recovered. Once used, they're gone forever. Lesson 1. Valuing your time and energy. Imagine your time and energy as a bank account. Every minute spent, every effort made, is a withdrawal from that account. The question is, are you investing these resources in something that truly pays off? Or are you spending them on people and situations that drain rather than add value? How many times have you felt exhausted, not because you worked on something you love, but because you gave into the pressure to please, to fix what can't be fixed? It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much effort you put in, the result is always the same: burnout and frustration. Valuing your time and energy means understanding that they are finite. It's about using them wisely, prioritizing what and who truly matters. This doesn't mean closing your heart to others, but recognizing that your gifts should be shared with those who also contribute to your well-being and growth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't add value, you're saying no to yourself. You're denying the time you could be dedicating to your dreams, passions, or simply your peace. And as Stoicism teaches us, true wisdom lies in making conscious choices. So the next time someone or something demands more than you can give, ask yourself, is this really worth my time? Because in the end, life isn't about how much you do, but about how and where you choose to spend your precious resources. When we start valuing our time and energy, we realize something even more fundamental in this equation: the respect we have for ourselves. After all, how can we expect others to respect us if we don't set the boundaries of what's acceptable? Lesson 2: self-respect and boundaries. Self-respect isn't just an abstract idea, it's a daily practice expressed in every no we say when something threatens our peace. Setting healthy boundaries is one of the most powerful forms of self-care. It's like drawing a line in the sand that says, this is where I protect myself. This is where I take care of me. Boundaries aren't walls to push people away. They're bridges that allow for more balanced and authentic relationships. Think about the times you felt drained because you gave too much, putting others' needs above your own. These are clear signs that your boundaries were crossed. Saying no can be uncomfortable, but it's an act of courage and self-love. It's a way of telling the world that you value yourself and that your well-being is non-negotiable. And here's the surprising part. When you start setting boundaries, the people who truly matter won't just understand. They'll respect you even more. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating space for genuine relationships where mutual respect thrives. Because in the end, the self-respect you practice is the respect you inspire in others. By setting boundaries and cultivating self-respect, we inevitably confront another fundamental truth. We all make mistakes. But have you ever considered the power they hold? Every mistake, no matter how painful, carries a valuable lesson. Lesson 3: learning from mistakes. Making mistakes is part of the journey. The problem isn't in making them, but in ignoring the lessons they offer. How many times have you found yourself repeating the same patterns, hoping for a different outcome? It's like trying to unlock a door with the wrong key without ever stopping to change the key. Mistakes are mirrors that invite us to reflect. They show us where we're stuck, what needs adjustment, and most importantly, they give us the chance to evolve. But this only happens when we have the courage to face them honestly, without excessive guilt, but with the awareness that every failure is a step toward growth. Learning from mistakes means letting go of the need for perfection and embracing transformation. It means asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because in the end, mistakes don't define who we are. The choices we make after them shape our future. So the next time you encounter a misstep, see it as a teacher. Reflect, adjust, and remember. It's through these lessons that we pave the way to becoming stronger and wiser versions of ourselves. By learning from our mistakes, we also begin to understand one of life's deepest truths. Nothing is permanent, especially relationships. And while this can be challenging, it can also be liberating. Lesson 4: the impermanent nature of relationships. Have you noticed how, throughout life, people come and go? Some leave deep marks, while others pass by almost unnoticed. It's natural to wish that meaningful connections could last forever, but the truth is that all relationships are by nature impermanent. Understanding this can be one of the greatest keys to personal growth and inner peace. Why is accepting impermanence so hard? We are, by instinct, creatures of attachment. We value stability and feel secure in what's familiar. When we form bonds with someone, we create stories, memories, and expectations. On some level, we believe these connections must last forever to have meaning. Yet, it's precisely this expectation that causes us pain when relationships change or end. Impermanence challenges our need for control. We want to keep things as they are, even when we realize a relationship no longer nourishes us or when both parties have grown in different directions. The fear of loss keeps us holding on, creating the illusion that clinging is safer than letting go. Stoicism invites us to view impermanence differently. For the Stoics, everything in life, material possessions, status, and yes, even relationships, is transient. They believed that embracing this transience not only frees us from unnecessary suffering, but also helps us live more authentically and fully present. When we understand that each relationship has its time and purpose, we can better appreciate the moments we share. We live more fully, without the burden of trying to prolong something that is naturally evolving. Letting go as an act of love and respect. Letting go is not a sign of failure or indifference. Often it is an act of deep love and respect, both for ourselves and for the other person. Staying in a relationship that no longer serves either party can lead to resentment, frustration, and stagnation. On the contrary, recognizing the end of a cycle creates space for both individuals to grow. Imagine two trees that share their roots for a time. They strengthen each other, but eventually their branches grow in different directions. They remain part of the same ecosystem, but now thrive separately, each in its own fullness. What do we gain by embracing impermanence? Accepting that relationships change doesn't diminish their value. On the contrary, it helps us see each connection as unique and special. Every person who enters our life brings something, a lesson, a moment of joy, or even a challenge that pushes us to grow. When we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we become more grateful for what was and more open to what's to come. Moreover, letting go allows space for new connections to emerge. Relationships that reflect who we've become, align with our current values, and help us continue evolving. Life is a constant dance of meetings and farewells, and embracing this brings freedom and lightness. How can we practice this acceptance? Appreciate the present moment. Value relationships while they are flourishing. Be present and aware of what each person brings to your life now. Recognize the cycles. Understand that it's natural for some connections to weaken or transform over time. This doesn't lessen the importance of what has been experienced. Practice conscious detachment. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or undervaluing. It means allowing everything to occupy its rightful place and time. In the end, impermanence is not something to fear, but a truth that invites us to live with greater fullness, authenticity, and gratitude. When we accept this reality, we learn that the end of a relationship is not the end of our journey, but the beginning of a new cycle, full of possibilities and discoveries. By accepting the impermanence of relationships, we learn to value the present moment and let go of what no longer serves us. But something deeper emerges when we embrace these changes. The need to confront what we truly feel. It is in the act of letting go, in acknowledging our humanity, that we encounter an essential element of personal growth: vulnerability. Lesson 5. The strength in vulnerability. Vulnerability. Just hearing the word can send chills down many people's spines. In a world that equates strength with invulnerability, opening your heart might seem like a risk. But here's the twist. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's actually one of the greatest displays of courage we can offer. To be vulnerable is to allow yourself to be seen fully, with your pain, fears, flaws, as well as your dreams and hopes. It's a conscious decision to lower your defenses and say, "This is me." This act of exposure requires immense strength because it confronts us with the fear of judgment, rejection, and even failure. Yet, it is precisely in this space of seeming fragility that we discover our resilience. When we acknowledge our imperfections and release the need to appear invincible, we free ourselves from an overwhelming pressure. We become more authentic, more capable of forming real and meaningful connections. Think about the times you've allowed yourself to be vulnerable. Perhaps it was when you admitted needing help, expressed a deep feeling, or took a leap of faith without guarantees of success. What happened? Likely, you unearthed a strength within you that you didn't know existed. Vulnerability connects us to the most human parts of ourselves and others. It opens the door to empathy, mutual understanding, and genuine growth. When we allow ourselves to feel and express our emotions, we create space for transformation. So, the next time life invites you to be vulnerable, accept, because it's in this courageous act that you'll find the strength to be your truest self and live more fully and authentically. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the doors to something extraordinary, true growth. It's as if, by removing our armor, we gain clearer insight into who we really are and what we still have the potential to become. And it's at this moment that the opportunity arises to explore the next stage of the journey: self-discovery. Lesson 6. Personal growth and self-discovery. Personal growth is a fascinating and, at the same time, challenging journey. It's an ongoing process where every moment in life offers an opportunity for transformation. But to truly grow, we must allow ourselves to question who we are and, more importantly, who we can become. What is personal growth? Personal growth isn't simply about acquiring new skills or achieving external goals. It goes beyond that. It's about looking inward, confronting our fears, re-evaluating our beliefs, and discovering our true essence. It's a path of self-awareness, where each internal discovery strengthens us and propels us to act in alignment with our values and aspirations. Imagine yourself as a book in constant writing. Each chapter represents a phase of your life. Personal growth is the act of turning the page when necessary, even if it means leaving behind stories and characters that no longer make sense. Why is growth difficult? Growth demands that we let go of the comfort of the familiar. Often we cling to patterns, beliefs, and relationships, even when we know they limit us. Why? Because change means facing the unknown, and the unknown by nature is uncomfortable. But it's in this discomfort that the magic of transformation lies. When we set aside fear and embrace the process of change, we begin to realize we are far more resilient and capable than we ever imagined. The role of Stoicism in growth. Stoicism offers valuable tools for personal growth. One of the central ideas of this philosophy is that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our reactions and choices. This gives us power. When we adopt this perspective, we stop feeling like victims of circumstances and start seeing every situation as a learning opportunity. A challenge can be a catalyst for developing patience. A failure can teach humility, and a loss can remind us of what truly matters. Self-discovery as a pillar of growth. Self-discovery is like exploring a vast, uncharted territory within yourself. The more you advance, the more you realize how much there is still to learn and grow. This process involves introspection, reflecting on your experiences, emotions, and choices. What do they reveal about you? Self-acceptance, recognizing your imperfections and limitations, not with judgment, but with compassion. Redefining values, identifying what truly matters to you, regardless of external expectations. Openness to change, being willing to adjust your course whenever necessary, without fear of starting anew. Constant reinvention. The true beauty of personal growth is that it allows for constant reinvention. You are not defined by who you were yesterday, nor are you confined to who you are today. Every choice you make can be a step toward a new version of yourself, stronger, more aware, and more fulfilled. Consider this. We often cling to an identity that no longer reflects who we are, out of fear of losing stability or recognition. But growth means having the courage to say, this no longer serves me. I'm ready for something new. How to begin this journey? Embrace the process. Growth takes time. Allow yourself to evolve at your own pace. Practice self-assessment. Regularly ask yourself, am I living according to my values? Are my choices leading me to where I want to be? Embrace discomfort. Every step outside your comfort zone is a victory toward your potential. Be kind to yourself. There will be mistakes and setbacks. They are part of the process and bring valuable lessons. What do you gain from personal growth? By committing to growth and self-discovery, you not only become a better version of yourself, but also begin to live more authentically, aligned with who you truly are. You gain clarity about your goals, strength to face challenges, and perhaps most importantly, inner peace, knowing you are living with purpose. Ultimately, personal growth is an act of self-love. It is the decision to honor your journey, invest in yourself, and live with the fullness and freedom that comes from truly knowing yourself. Lesson 7. Respecting others' journeys. As we delve deeper into our own journey of growth and self-discovery, it's natural to want those around us to do the same. We wish to share what we've learned, help our loved ones avoid mistakes, and sometimes even hasten their evolution. But here's the truth. Every person has their own pace, their own challenges, and their own lessons to learn. The individuality of journeys. Each of us walks a unique path, shaped by experiences, beliefs, and choices that are our own. What makes sense to you now may not yet be clear to someone else. Perhaps you've already faced and overcome challenges that someone close to you is just beginning to understand. And that's okay. Growth isn't a race, but an individual trajectory. Trying to interfere with or speed up someone else's process, even with the best intentions, can backfire. Imagine trying to help a butterfly out of its chrysalis too soon. Without the struggle needed to strengthen its wings, it will never be able to fly. Similarly, each person's growth depends on facing their own battles, making their own mistakes, and discovering their own truths. Stoicism and mutual respect. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our actions, thoughts, and reactions. It reminds us that trying to control or shape someone else's journey is not only futile, but also a violation of their right to grow in their own way. Respecting others' journeys means accepting that not everyone is at the same point in their path, and that's perfectly natural. Respect doesn't mean indifference. It means being present, offering support when asked, and above all, trusting that everyone will find their way in their own time. It's a quiet act of love that says, I trust you and believe in your ability to grow. Letting others learn their lessons. Often, the desire to intervene stems from a fear of seeing loved ones suffer. We want to prevent them from going through the pain we've already experienced. But pain and challenges are indispensable teachers. When we allow others to face their lessons, we give them the chance to develop resilience, wisdom, and self-confidence. Think about the times you faced something difficult and emerged stronger. Wasn't it the lessons learned from those experiences that shaped who you are today? Allowing others to endure their own struggles is, in essence, allowing them to grow. What do you gain by respecting others' journeys? By respecting someone else's journey, you also strengthen your own relationships. This mutual respect creates deeper bonds based on trust and understanding. Additionally, when we accept that everyone has their own path, we free up the energy that would otherwise be wasted trying to control the uncontrollable and redirect it toward our own growth. Respecting others' journeys is a way of honoring the complexity and beauty of life. It acknowledges that while we are all interconnected, each of us treads a singular path, making everyone's journey valuable and unique. Driki, Lesson 8. Finding peace in solitude. Solitude, a word we often avoid, almost as if it's something to fear. But is it really an enemy? What if, instead of a void, solitude were a gateway? A precious space to get to know yourself better, hear your own voice, and find peace in simply being with yourself. The truth is, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Solitude can be one of life's most enriching experiences when viewed as an opportunity. In that silence, away from the distractions and demands of the world, you connect with what truly matters. Without external noise, you begin to see your priorities, desires, and most importantly, who you are more clearly. The Stoics believed that inner peace comes not from what's outside, but from what we find within. Solitude is the perfect environment for this pursuit. When you allow yourself this time for introspection, you discover that you don't need constant chaos or external validation to feel complete. On the contrary, it's in this state of solitude that you grow stronger. Transformation through solitude. Think about the times when you were truly alone. At first, you may have felt discomfort, a certain restlessness. But over time, something begins to shift. Your mind calms, your thoughts take shape, and suddenly, what seemed confusing starts to make sense. That's the power of solitude. It provides a safe space to reflect, process emotions, and reassess your path. Without external pressures, you can make choices that truly resonate with your values. It's as if in the absence of noise, your internal compass regains its precision. How to embrace solitude as an ally. Shift your perspective. Instead of seeing solitude as something to avoid, view it as a gift, a precious time to care for yourself without distractions. Leverage. Silence. Use these moments for practices that bring you peace and clarity, such as meditation, journaling, or simply observing nature. Set intentions. Ask yourself, what do I want to understand or discover about myself in this moment? This transforms solitude into an active growth experience, the peace that comes from self-knowledge. When you feel comfortable in your own company, something powerful happens. You stop seeking validation for your happiness from others or external circumstances. Instead, you find an inner peace that depends on nothing but yourself. This peace gives you strength to face challenges with more balance and guides your decisions by what truly matters. Remember, solitude isn't an emptiness to be filled, but a space to be explored. It's in solitude that you find the answers only silence can reveal, and discover that above all, the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Throughout this journey, we've explored some of the most powerful lessons for living with greater clarity, courage, and purpose. We've discussed the value of time and energy, the power of setting boundaries, the importance of learning from mistakes, and embracing impermanence. We've reflected on the strength that comes from vulnerability, the personal growth born from self-awareness, and the respect we owe to others' journeys. Finally, we've seen that solitude, often feared, can be an invaluable ally on the path to inner peace. But what use are these lessons if we don't apply them? Now is the time to look inward and reflect. Which of these lessons resonated with you the most? Where do you feel you can start making changes? Life doesn't transform in a snap, but through small intentional steps. Perhaps it's time to value your time more, say no more often, or simply set aside moments to sit quietly with yourself. The key is to take action, and I invite you to start today. Don't wait for perfect circumstances or the ideal moment. Transformation begins in the present, in the now. Choose one lesson, no matter how small, and begin to apply it. It could be a simple reflection or a shift in attitude, but every action matters. Share your experiences and reflections. Leave a comment about what resonated with you, what you plan to carry forward. Together we can learn from one another and build a stronger, more mindful community. Remember, growth has no end, but every step we take makes the journey worthwhile. You're not alone in this. Let's move forward together and see you next time.